going on? Thanks, Missy. Appreciate that. How you guys doing? You guys recovering from Thanksgiving back there on Thursday? Yeah. Before we get going here, though, guys, I got kind of a little new setup I'm using here at my house. I got kind of like this. Well, I'm not going to go into what it actually looks like, but give me an audio check if you would. Tell me if you guys can hear me well. I mean, tell me if it just sounds like it used to. Basically, that's what I'm asking. Hey, Marie, how you doing? The Recovery Channel, good to see you. Taylor, what's up? Yeah, I'll get into that in just a second. Sounds good? Okay, cool. Just making sure. Guys, I don't typically like making these kinds of videos. Matter of fact, I'll just say it, I don't. I do not like making these kinds of videos because I buy into the thing that everybody's entitled to their own opinion. They can have their theories, they can have this, and they can have that. But I will just, I guess try my best to make people understand what I actually think it is. Okay? And what the stuff I was getting, I got like 8 emails in like the span of like 2 hours. Okay? And it was over exactly what I just put in there. The earth is not the sun. I know it sounds really crazy to even say that, but there was, I guess, a few videos that were made, and I'm not going to say who it made, or that's not important to me. The only thing that's important is that, when I got all those emails, I only do this if I get multiple, and then when I get like 8 of them from 8 different people on the same subject, pointing to the same videos from the same channel, I'm like, what do I do? Do I just ignore it, or do I at least give my end of it and actually show people what I think what's going on here? Okay? And this isn't going to be something that's, this is not fun for me. I don't like doing this. But I have to, because I don't want people that are subscribed to me to go, to at least see the other side of what this is. So I'll just get into it. But before we get to that, I do want to give you a little space weather update real quick, for those that are here for that this morning. And we'll get into this. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. You can... That's cool, Douglas. That's awesome. I like that. Cool. Yeah, you talk about the tactical gloves where you can punch through, the windows, like if you have a car wreck and stuff. There's flashlights out there that are really well for that too, and they double as good light. Anyway, let's not get into that right now. But I think that's cool. That's cool. So I'm going to go ahead and put the chat away. If you guys could, please just, kind of keep it civil in there. And, the mods and the subs here, you guys are great. So I appreciate everybody that's here and everybody that, watches this. So, and I especially appreciate my mods because they're taking on extra responsibility that, that's needed. It's needed to keep everything kind of, not to keep people in check, but it's actually just to make sure that everybody understands the rules. Because for the most part, if people understand the rules, they follow them. It's not really a big deal unless you get somebody in here that's going all kind of crazy and stuff. So I am going to put the chat away. We're going to get into this, okay? But anyway, the Schumann here, you can tell how all that crazy looking vertical stuff is now gone. You see the remnants of it kind of right here. I do believe that was the tool flaw. There was something going on with the tool that was causing that kind of a thing. I'm not exactly sure, because I don't know how they developed this model and all of that. But you got to remember, this is just data that's entered into some software, into a model. So it's digital information. So when you see those kinds of things, it doesn't necessarily mean anything's going on. There could be flaws there. It's not like you have a seismograph sitting on the ground and you're looking at that seismograph. That's not what you're looking at. somebody's taking the information off of that seismograph or off of the detectors here with the frequency and inputting that data into a program. That's what you're looking at here. Okay? You're not actually looking at the specific seismographs. And number one, this is an average, anyway, of multiple different locations. So I always point that out. And this is regional. So, but anyway, you do have a little bit of spiking going on. It does look like we might have some stuff going on over here. You know, ringing in your ears, feeling kind of nauseous. Sometimes that happens. You know, moody, especially when you're getting the spikes that are kind of short-lived, but they're often, like they're just kind of jumping around. This is directly related to mental health, guys. So yeah. So let's get into space weather here real quick. Prediction Center. And you can see here, guys, our base level is now up so high enough that it's almost, you know, it's almost in the C-class flare range just sitting there. And the reason why is because we have a lot of active areas and sunspots facing Earth. So we're continuously getting bombarded with X-rays right now. Now, you know, as we get further and further into solar maximum, you know, as we're coming out of solar minimum, this is going to be normal. Okay, this is a normal condition that we experience throughout a sun cycle. This is going to last for years. Now, it might dip down every so often or dip high. You know, it just does. But what I'm saying here, though, we're going to experience, this is going to become the norm. And then any kind of little flare that we have extra will definitely push us up into a higher flare class. And that's why we pay attention to the base level here. But you can see how we've had, because I reported on this one, and then we've had subsequent flaring. They're small, okay? But even the small ones now are getting into C-class. That's a C-class, that's a C-class. Right on the edge, but that is a C-class flare. And then you had these here too. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 very discernible little flashes of flaring. But the bigger ones here actually got into C-class. So what I'm saying is they may be experiencing, you know, issues with their with the atmosphere ionizing on the day side of the Earth, okay? Because that's where the Earth is catching the X-rays. On the dark side, yes, you get a little bit that gets kind of pulled into the system, but the majority of it gets ionized right above where the flare hits, okay? Now, if it's a large one, like way up in an X range, yes, that's going to wrap around the planet, okay? But these other ones, they kind of, you know, they're more directed. And so, you know, that's why we get like radio blackouts in Australia or United States or whatever else when we get hit with these flares. That's why they're regional. But anyway, geomagnetic activity. Okay, you see how we're bumped up right now to what we call active conditions. Gets into the 4, we're talking very active, and then obviously a 5 kp is a G level 1 storm. And then we have, you know, then we got different conversations to start having here. Okay, I'm not sure if we're going to get any higher here right at this second, but it does look as though we're going to, like I've been saying, guys, we have to be on, you know, alert for flares and CMEs this next week. We got too many things that are going to be facing us that we just can't let our guards down right now. Okay, so you look at the ACE data, obviously this is on the high end of normal. That's the solar wind speed. You see where the temperature is kind of just hanging out in the middle. Density is hanging, you know, it's a little bit elevated. Okay, normal for me on density is right around 2 or 3. Now where it's at right now typically won't cause any problems either, but it is on the higher end of it. Now we took a little dip here, then when we lost the line of sight for the satellite, when it came back up, we were kind of down here. And now it even took another dive right here. So we're at a 2 density of what this one's showing us. The phi angle was kind of unstable here. Looks like it's stabled out here a little bit. Now the BZ, again, when it's in the negative, that's when we really pay attention. This one actually got down to -6. So that means it was drawing stuff into our system. Right there. really conducive for that kind of activity. And for the majority, it stayed in the negative. It popped up here every once in a while, but most of it right here is in the negative. In the model. This is a top-down view of our inner solar system. This is a side view. Conditions at Earth are here in the green. Okay? I'm going to hit play here. And I'm going to hit right about there. Okay? That's about where we're at in time. Well, a little bit further. Kind of like right there. Okay? Maybe back a little bit. Probably more like that. Okay? Now, so what we're looking at here, guys, is it's saying here in the next 1, 2, and 2 days, between the 30th and the 1st, we're supposed to be seeing, a little bit of uptick in density. And then the solar wind speed drops out a little bit more. It's on a steady decline according to this model. And then it goes back to a steady incline. But this is not even high at all. 250 to 450, that's a really small range. Okay, it's low. I wouldn't call it low. It's normal. That's a normal condition for me. That's what I see as normal. And for the most part, everybody kind of agrees with that. Now, the density, obviously, that's an uptick. Whatever's going to happen here and wherever that's coming from. Either coronal holes, CMEs, anything can be causing that kind of thing. Okay? So this model has seen something. You can see it here. So let me take this and we'll move it on down through here and you can see what's happening. Okay? But we get hit here and then all of a sudden we got this behind there too. Again, the black is showing up again here. It's a real thin strip of it, but that's really high dense material. You can see this here too. Now when I take you and show you the CME tracker, then we'll have something to talk about. Anyway, electron flux. It's fluxing. Okay, not too much though. Okay, nothing real crazy there. A little bit of instability here on the magnometers, and that does make sense because they are saying we're having a little bit of activity here. And I'll show you on the magnetopause models, and that's what that email was about too. So let me, those 8 emails I got. I was going to do this earlier, tonight, and I really put it off. I really didn't want to do it, but I think I need to, just so I can clarify for people what I actually think is going on. Anyway, you see how we're kind of bumping here? Those are those flares hitting us. Okay, notice that wherever this stuff is the day side. Alright, so that's why it's important to know that. You have to know that because wherever that shows up and it's flashing real bright there, means that's a more intense X-ray. So if that blue was over South Africa here, southern parts of Africa or Africa in general, they're probably experiencing some sort of ionized atmosphere, and it would mess with radio propagation. So ham radio operators, first responders use that kind of technology. So it really messes with them. And they need to know this. They actually look at this, guys, now. They look at this. So, yeah. Okay. Here's the updated magnetopause models here. This is the newer model. The sun's off to the left, and you're seeing a little bit of activity. Okay, we are still kind of tilted, and that'll be pretty evident when I take you down here to the pressure one. Okay, this is the density. This is showing you density. It's not showing you speed or anything like that. Simply the denseness of the particles. That's all that this is showing you. Okay, you see little waves coming in and out of there, right? Now remember I was talking about this yesterday. See how we're kind of just, most of it pointing this way? We're really getting, our magnetics are really getting pulled directional here, guys. You see how this kind of dives in here and this doesn't? This means that we're pulled that direction. Everything here is pointing to that. And if you look here, this is showing the same thing. Remember, we got a top and a side view here. So that's what we're looking at. So let me push play here. Look at that. You guys see what happened right here? Look at this. That looks like our magnetics are almost completely sideways. See the pressure? The majority of the pressure is here, and that's usually on the back side. Okay? And it's lighter here, and you watched it move from here to here. Watch. You guys see that? So, the sun's over here. The bow shock's out here blocking that stuff. What's causing that? And then if you go up here and you look at the speed, do you see this? And then you'll see it happen down here later. Watch. See how that develops just right there? It takes off. Now now watch what happens. Okay? Seeing that? It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Just right there, not down here. That means that it's directional. If it's not symmetrical on these graphs and these models, that means it's directional. Okay? Now the white, guys, remember the white is lower density material. So, this isn't showing us speed, but it kind of is in a roundabout way. And what I mean is that when we have higher solar wind, typically there's lower dense material with that, because it's pulling some of those material, that dense material, and it's shooting it out the back. It's called flushing. It's kind of flushing it out. All right. But our bow shock is kind of flat too. Now, if we were getting hit symmetrically from the front, the bow shock itself usually bends like this, but it's more flat. Look at it. Now, that's not necessarily, that's just representing where our this is just showing you density though, okay? And what I mean by that is our bow shock isn't necessarily right there in that exact spot. But this does try to represent that. But that ain't really what we're seeing. Because sometimes when we see this, the density of the particles will be the same on the front, behind the bow shock, and in front of it. If that's the case, then this whole thing will look like it's the same color, and it will give us the illusion that the bow shock isn't there. But it will be. It doesn't ever go away. The only way that goes away is if our magnetic field goes away or the solar wind goes away. And if either one of those happens, I don't want to be sitting here talking to you, because I probably won't be able to. So, but yeah. So, I mean, you guys see that right there. So, we're definitely getting some stuff going on there. Here's your Australian model. Let's take it back to the 27th here. Well, I took you back to the 28th, didn't I? Okay, here it goes. So you're going to see it. It's going to be bouncing around because we're getting hit. Our geomagnetics are actually being messed with a little bit here from the sun. Not too much though, right there. Not going to see a whole lot there. But check this out. It's a geoelectric field model. Now, what's significant about this is that we're on the dark side here, the dark side of the planet. So whatever's hitting the Earth is actually having to wrap around. And so what that means is, on the other side, it's actually getting hit harder than this on their electrical grids. That's what that would mean. Because the timestamps here is going to tell you that we're on the dark side. Okay, go outside and look. It's dark right now, right? Anybody from the United States, anyway. Okay. Again, guys, let me say this too. I appreciate all my listeners. I really do. all my subscribers. I really wish I could have more international like sites I could go to show you guys stuff. And some of you guys have sent me links and stuff, and I've shown them before. I don't understand why there ain't like a lot more of them, but and there is quite a few. I mean, there's enough that we can, like this one. Like I said, that's an Australian model, and that's one of the main reasons why I show this one. And I actually like this one the best because it's the simplest one to understand, and it still shows you what's going on. Okay, so seeds. This is the most recent data here. Okay, you can see we've got some energy kind of going here, but we're going to go back to the 27th and we'll take a look at this. So there's that bigger one that did shoot off at the beginning of the day yesterday, and it went about 90 degrees from us. It went that way, but the CME tracker actually picked this one up. Why it never showed this one, I can't give you an answer for that. I don't know why. They just didn't post it. And, and it's kind of upsetting, but, not much we can do about it. So it did pick that up. So let me show you that. Here's the CME tracker. There it went. See that? But what I want you guys to pay attention to, you see, this is our inner solar system, right? Here, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay. So, here's Earth. Here's the sun. Okay, this is stereo A. We look at this all the time. Like I said, we got a side view of the sun, but it's not a 90 degrees. Okay, so if I draw a line to the sun and go down here, that would be 90 degrees. Stereo A used to be out here closer to 90 degrees, but they brought it closer and closer to the Earth. Now, I don't know the reason for that particular part of it, but the fact is, it is closer to us now. It's about, I can't remember how many months it's behind. It's behind us a few months here. If you think that this, this would be, I guess, if you split that into fours, that would be a 3-month time period from here to here. Okay, so we're probably looking at about 2 months, rough, okay, behind us. If it stayed the same speed orbiting the sun as Earth does, in 2 months, stereo A would be right here where the Earth is at. Okay, and the Earth would be over here, right? But anyway, this is a top-down view. Mercury's over here, Venus is here. These are satellites. Parker SP's here, the green one, I believe. Okay, now Mars is back here. This is a side view. So if we're getting hit here, next time we look at is the side view, because these are two-dimensional, so it has to give us all 3 axis points so we can get a 3-dimensional idea of what's going to happen. Visually, it's kind of fooling sometimes, and that's why they do this. So the CME blows off here, which that doesn't affect us whatsoever. But we look here, and then we go over here, and what this is the Earth's orbit around the sun stretched out in a straight line. So you can see where this CME hits here, way out in front of us. Okay, about 2 months in front of us. Okay, if you want to, like I just showed you where stereo A is, that one is just as far away from the Earth, but the other direction. It's ahead of us, right? Or behind us. And when you're talking about space, guys, almost every, like east-west, that's backwards. Just so you know. That's what they do here with these tools. And I don't know why they do it like that. I know there's reasons for it. I just really haven't dug into that. I should. That's for sure. But do you see what we got coming? Okay. We're going to get it here. And then this here is coming. Whatever this is. I don't know where that energy... It came from the sun, obviously. And you can see it on the spiral graphs here. But I'm not sure exactly what caused that. That's some pretty good intense stuff going on there, and let me explain why. Do you see these white lines? Okay, the dashed lines are IMF lines. That's our connection to the sun and other bodies, right? And the sun has those connections with everything, even the satellites. Okay, The current sheath is the white lines. Do you see what happens to the current sheath line here? I mean, it's getting bent and kinked all kinds of ways. It's showing it here. So we're going to pass, the current sheath is going to pass, it's going to hit us here. Then it's going to hit us here. Then it's going to hit us again back here. Every time we pass that current sheath, we're going to get a jolt geomagnetically. That's what happens. Okay? It just, that expands out from the sun. That's what happens. And, there's a lot of science behind that current sheath, and there's a lot we could dig into. But just know that when we get hit, when that thing passes over us like that, typically we'll take a smack with geomagnetically. Now, sometimes it's big, sometimes it's small. When you got all this other energy around it, I would tend to think that that's going to be a little bit harder of a hit. I can't say for sure, but that is what it is. Okay, this here, I'm going to talk about this too. This is the sunspot that we've been talking about and showing you guys. I'll bring you guys back up here. Are you guys okay in there? Just to make sure. Hey Mark, what's up? All good, Tab? Thank you for being here, Tab. Appreciate that. Hey Daniel, what's happening, man? Okay, you suppose you're alright, Douglas? Okay. Ashley, what's up? What's that say? Rent. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Rend the heavens all the time. Okay. Interesting. Cynthia, hey, Kathy, AB. That's right. Ashley Marie, there you are again. Hi. The Waking Parade, the Awakening of Patriot Survival. Good to see you here. All right. So I'm going to leave you guys up here for a second so you guys can, if you got any questions on this. This is that big, huge sunspot. Okay? We've been talking about this for a while now when we first seen it, pop over, and it's been doing some flaring. Now remember when I first brought this to you, I said that it was pretty stable. And the reason why is because it was kind of by itself. There were no other secondary little spots popping up. Well, there is now. Remember, I even said, guys, if you start seeing more spots popping up, we better pay attention. And that's exactly what's going on. Because now as these things are trailing this thing, there's positive and negatives that are here. And this thing's going to start reacting with it. And if they get close enough and they do their thing, it's going to flare. It'll have CMEs. A whole lot of different things can happen. If you just had this spot sitting here by itself, it would probably flare every once in a while or whatever. Could or couldn't. But it was, even though it was huge, it was stable. It wasn't doing a whole lot, but just putting out like a consistent X-ray flow. But now, with all this other stuff behind it, it's going to start reacting with these things. It's going to interact with this stuff. It's going to start drawing, pushing, all kinds of stuff. And that's going to make it more volatile. And it makes us, at a bigger risk. Now, nothing's happened so far. But, we can't let our guards down here. Johnny Doom. Yeah, it is big, isn't it? Marie, Dick Watson, hey. So, yeah. Now, let's go down here. I want to show you guys this real quick too, okay? You guys see this asteroid right here? This near-Earth object, meteorite, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be passing us today. It's only 6 meters big. Okay, it's not very big at all. That's why it's not a big deal about what I'm getting ready to say. This wasn't here 2 days ago. 3 days ago. So they discovered this back on the 25th, I believe. So that was one that they added because they didn't see it. So I just wanted to show you guys that. It's not a big deal, but I show you that just to say, hey, listen, they're still missing stuff. And again, even if they miss this one completely and it came into our atmosphere, chances are we wouldn't even know it. You want to know why? Because most of our planet's water. And if that happens out over water somewhere, people don't see it. That's why. Okay? Now, earthquakes. Oh, man, what the heck did I do that for? That was stupid. I actually clicked on the X there on accident. Sorry, guys. Okay, so this is USBS. And, yeah, you heard me right. I'll put this up for a second. You're welcome, Wolf. Good to see you. Hey, Tom. How you doing, bud? I didn't get to see anybody yesterday. I wasn't able to make it over to Mark's show last night. You know, I really, I missed it. You know, me and my wife sat here for about 5 minutes watching it. We were exhausted. I still am. So, yeah. Mr. Zay, hey, Susan. So, yeah. Tom, was that you that, somebody said something in Mark's chat last night, just when I was on there for a second. Did somebody have something bad happen? I wasn't able to go back and look. I didn't have, you know, like I said, me and my wife were kind of hanging out and stuff last night, because we had the family and stuff over yesterday, my kids, playing some games and things, and we kind of, you know, got kind of late, so we just kind of chilled out. Hopefully you didn't have nothing bad happen to you, bud. If you did, I'm sorry. You know. I know Mark had stopped in the middle of it. Oh, really? Oh, wow. I'm sorry, Tom. That's horrible, bud. Sorry to hear that, brother. Wow. I'm sorry, man. Prayers to you, bud. I won't, you know, you're in my prayers, bud. I mean, we'll keep you there. Okay? Wish we could do more for you, you know. Just know that we're here. If you need something, man, you guys know my email, right? Here, let me do this. That's my email, guys. Okay, it's supposed to be lower cap. Sorry, but it's bluecoal52@gmail. If you need something, man, give me, you know, hit me up. Okay. So yeah. 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 I hate hearing that kind of stuff. It kind of throws me off, and yeah. But I can't imagine, man. You know, I know we all, typically most of us will experience our parents, you know, leaving before we do. And I dread that day. I really do. You know, me and my mom and dad don't really get along all that well, but we used to be a lot closer, but it still wouldn't matter. You know, my dad had COVID this past, he's still sick. So I'm hoping that and he's got lots of underlying conditions. He's got 9 stents in his heart, 1 in his brain. He got shot 3 times, stabbed in his heart. I mean, just all kinds of crazy stuff. And this man's still living. And you would never know it. And I would hate for some stupid little virus to get him. I would hate, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I mean, oh man. Anyway, we had like a rash of like 4.5s to 5.0 quakes here, guys. One here, one here. One of these were like at a 5.4, I think. 5.1, 5. We had one here. And let me show you guys something too that I thought was interesting. Check this one out. I changed it all to all magnitudes one day. Well, it's been too late now. There was one here yesterday in Kentucky. Almost a 2.0. It was actually almost on the Ohio border. It's kind of up here. Forget which one it was, but man, that was crazy. I don't want to call it crazy. We get them here every once in a while, but like that's out of the norm. We don't typically see that. You know, it was a 1.9 too. So At least that's what they reported it in as. Let me say something. It probably was bigger than a 1.9. They always do that. We know that. And, you know, it's easy to say that too, and easy to prove it, because they'll do that and then other agencies won't do it. I mean, they do it some, but not as often as what these guys seem to. So I'll just leave it at that. But, you know, when we get this one over here, like a 5 something, 5.3, 4.0, 4.8, 4.6, 4.9. I mean, this one here actually was pretty sizable too. As a 3.0, I think it was Idaho. Yeah. So, but you can see where all the activity's at. Now, here's the Canadian map, obviously. There's a 3.0 right there on the coast, off the coast actually. Then we had one here, I think this was like a 3.4, a 3.3. And that's nowhere near anything. So, yeah. Okay. So, this is what we're going to do, guys. And this is not fun. I hate this. What I'm getting ready to do, I hate it. But I think I need to. I don't know how else to handle this, because I started getting a bunch of emails. I got one email and I went over and checked it out, what was being said and stuff. And, you know, I was just going to let it go. But then I started just getting blasted with emails. So, what the email was about there was a channel out there that was saying, and again, if I chuckle or if I kind of do something like that, I don't mean to. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. You're right, George, for sure. USBS. I said that earlier, actually. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody. I think everybody can have their own theories and ideas. But what I'm about to show you guys, in my opinion, is a little much, way more than just oh man. It ain't just a little off the path when it comes to, or just a little bit down a rabbit hole. I mean, we're talking about somebody that dove in head first right here. Okay? And, and again, I wouldn't even be addressing this if I didn't get all those emails. So, let me tell you what the claim was. First off, though, this is what we got now. Okay? Magnetopause here. Sun's off to the right. You can see all that energy coming, right? That's right now. That's what we're experiencing now. And that's why our geomagnetism is all, a little bit more active. This one here is even showing the tilt. See? Remember, on the other one, it was tilted like this. That's because the sun was over here. So these things are showing the same things. Just so you know. Okay. So, this is today also. See how everything here is kind of a darker blue? Like everything was kind of getting, moved this direction. See that? Even that little pole line there, right there. Things are very directional going this way right now for some reason. And then we tilt back this other way. I mean, it's strange. Okay? It's not like really strange or anything, but so when we look at these guys, what are we looking at? Okay? And this is where this has got to go, and I hate to go here with it, but I'm going to because I respect you guys, and I want you guys to have a better understanding of what these tools are showing us. So when we're looking at this, I know you guys understand what the tools are showing us. Most of you guys do, okay? This is the Earth. The sun's off to the right. We can clearly see energy coming from the right to the left the majority of the time. Sometimes we see it coming from the back, okay? That's just a little basis of whatever we're seeing. The tool itself is representing certain things. The tool itself is representing IMF lines. And let me say this too. When I went and watched the video that these people were asking me about if this could possibly be what it is, this person actually said, I don't really understand this model. They said this. But then she went on and started pointing out features and stuff. So I'm not understanding what was going on, why they would go down that road after that. Okay? If you say you don't understand it, like when I was telling you guys about the DuPage website, when we were seeing the infrared signals, I told you guys straight up, listen, I don't know exactly what this is, but I'm comfortable enough telling you that, hey, that's not normal, and other people that do know what they're talking about on this tool is saying the same thing. So I was comfortable enough showing you that, and that's where I stopped. I didn't go deeper with it because I didn't understand exactly what the tool was showing me. So what we've got here is, again, the sun's here. This is the Earth. The red are closed field lines. The blue are IMF lines. The black are pole lines. IMF lines are our connection to the sun, like I showed you on this one. The dashed lines here are the IMF lines. All right? So here, they're blue. Okay, so where did I get that information from? Well, right here on the key. You see this? It tells you exactly what you're looking at. Now, what's this? You guys see that? I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. And let me say this again, guys. I don't take any pleasure doing this at all. I hate this. I do. Absolutely hate it. Because I'm about to show you guys something and show you guys what you're looking at that's probably going to pretty much set it in stone that what was being said is a bunch of malarkey. Okay? This right here is not a planetary object. Okay? That right there, if you guys zoomed in and looked a little bit deeper, it's this. Look at the keys up here. That's a satellite. Okay? You guys see this one here? That's a satellite. That's what this is showing us. I show you guys this, and I show you the... Where's the other one at? That you already X'd out of it. The one that's more of a square box looking model. Remember the dashed line around the planet? The satellite line? That's what this is, guys. These are satellites. Okay? So, follow me here, okay? So, it was said that this model was not showing the Earth here. They claimed that that is the sun. Okay? And, awakening, yeah, I don't know why they took that off there. I don't know why they did. I honestly don't. It used to be there a while back, like years ago, but I'm not sure why they took it off there. But yeah. So anyway, that's satellites. That is the Earth, guys. Okay, like I said, what they said was that's the sun. And when we're looking at this magnetopause, when we see this, that's a flare. Okay? Now, hold on just 1 minute here. That wasn't all that was said there. Okay? Now, you guys see this right here? That's that same object. This is back on the 23rd, 24th of November. Alright? So watch these. You can see these orbiting around the Earth. See them? When I grab it like this, do you see how it even goes into that? You can see it crossing over that. Those are satellites orbiting our planet. Okay? But what was said in this video is that was a UFO, and it flew into the sun and popped out the backside, and then they made a huge deal like it did a U-turn and went back into the sun because of the orbit. It's orbiting the planet. That's what this is showing you. Very easy to show you this. That's what the key is. Okay? This is what I'm trying to say, guys. This is why we can't forget where we came from, because there's still truth back behind us. We just got to find it. Not everything is a conspiracy. Okay, now remember, this is back on the 23rd. I'm showing you this one because this is the one that was shown in the video. I'm not going to go there, Nibby, okay? You guys could probably figure it out on your own, but I'm not dropping names. I don't do that. But all I'm saying is, yeah. So, and part of their proof was this, guys. And let me show you. And let me say something else here, too. This same channel, a while back, I mean, I'm talking like 2 years ago, somebody else tried to give this channel some help and try to help them understand what they were actually looking at, and then they just totally, no. So I'll just leave that at that. But this is part of the proof that was being used to say that this model here is the sun, and they've been fooling us for years, saying that this is the sun, this is the earth, and it's actually the sun. So the logic that was being used here went to this timestamp. Okay, this is when we had the big CME out the backside. Okay, so if we go to that same timestamp, or close to it, I'm on the wrong day here, 24. Okay. So what they're saying is, what they were trying to say is that this was matching this. Okay. So let me show you how easy it is to say that that is not the truth. First thing that was completely not mentioned was this. If this is the sun, then what came from the right side and smacked us in the bow shock? Watch, in the bow shock. See that? So if that's the sun, something just plummeted the sun. Number one. We keep moving. Okay. Now we are, because remember, if this is the sun, here's the sun. So let's go to this exact timestamp, 1524. Right? It's like a minute different or something like that. This would be showing up right here. I mean, I know I didn't need to take it this far for most of you guys, but I'm hoping, my hope there is that somebody that knows what I'm saying here and knows where this video came from, one of the 8 people that emailed me, can take this back and show them Yeah, there was that's similar. Yeah, yeah. Now if somebody comes out and says, well, like Nibby said here, like the arm on Lasco C3 being a beam, what he's talking about there is, I'll show it to you. It's actually a good example. Thank you. You guys see this right here? Some people think that's a beam. It's not. Not even close. What that is, guys, I've always told you that's an occulter, right? It blocks out the main light of the sun. Guys, it can't hang out there on it, like magic, like fairy dust. Something's got to hold it there. That's what's holding it. This thing is like on the camera. On the tool. This is not out in the middle of the air somewhere. Or out in the middle of space. That is not a beam. That is the arm that holds the occulter. Okay? So, it's not that hard to see that once people show you. Now listen, if it was the first time you came over here and looked at this, yes, I could see where somebody could say, hey, that looks like a beam. Hey, person that's doing this video, is that a beam? No, that's not a beam. That's something that holds this occulter, and this is why. Okay, thank you for informing me. And we move on, right? No, people don't do that. They grab this and say it's something crazy. It's nuts. Completely nuts. I don't get it. And like I said, guys, I don't take any pleasure at all doing this. I didn't want to do it. I hate doing this kind of stuff. I do. I want, if anybody takes this back to the person that made this video, please be respectful, okay? I don't want somebody to get disrespected. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm doing this for you guys. Not for necessarily the person that made this video. Because given past history on the one that made this video, I don't think that they're going to change their mind. They're not going to come out and say they were wrong. Is what I'm trying to say. So, I just want you guys to know that. And again, I hope this can show people too that you don't have to attack somebody personally to show everybody that what they said could possibly be wrong. You don't have to go at somebody like that. You don't have to, because it doesn't do any good. You can just show them what was being said, the idea, and then you show them your view on what they said. And like I said at the beginning, guys, just to simply say that that's the sun, like I said, that's not just 1 foot in a rabbit hole. That's your whole body, and half your family went with you. I mean, that's kind of, yeah. I mean, and again, just technically, I guess debunk. I don't want to say debunk. I hate using that word. But just to sit here and look at this on the same timestamp, again, and that's the other thing. What about this? Watch this. So we get that right there. Okay? What's the timestamp there? 9, right? So let's take this back to 9. Okay, it's missing that timestamp. No big deal. Let's go find this other one. Right there. That one. 11:01. This is 11:24. Where's that at? Sure as heck ain't right there. You know what I mean? We can go through and just look at everything that this thing's doing and compare it to a timestamp here, and if it doesn't show up on both, that totally just destroys what was being said multiple times over. You see what I'm getting at, guys? And, and again, I don't want anybody going and just like completely going at this person, okay? If you know who I'm talking about. If you guys seen this video, you know, the 8 people that emailed me within 2 hours about this, you know, please at least try to take it back and give this person the information, but just do it in a respectful way, okay? Don't start calling people stupid and all that kind of stuff, because it's not good, and I don't necessarily think this person is that way. But once you're shown something like this, you need to understand that, yeah. When I hear stuff like that, again, usually I don't even hear it. You want to know why? Because I don't watch it. I only watch that kind of stuff typically when somebody sends me a link or, hey, check this out. You know, the thing with me here, guys, is right here. This really is what really bothered me the most. Is I can show you right on the key what all this stuff is. Okay? So to say that that's some sort of craft that went into the sun, okay, and look, it even passes over that. All that's showing you is the light and dark side of the planet. To see it, say it passes through the sun. Oh, and I mean, and they made a huge deal about this, like it stopped and did a U-turn and went back into the sun. And they were saying, oh, that never does that, and all this other stuff. Well, if it never does that, if a ship never does that, if that was actually a ship, we should be able to go to any other timestamp and not see this, right? Let's do that. Let me hit update right there. Let me update this thing. What's this? You see that? That's the same thing as that. Watch it move. Oh my gosh, it went into the sun. Oh my gosh, it went on the other side. Holy cow, it went back. You see what I'm getting at here, guys? I mean, I just, wow. I just don't know what else to say and do there, guys. So the people that sent me those emails, I hope that helps you. I really do. So that is not a ship. That is not anything else. This is not the sun. This is Earth. This is a satellite. Right here. You can see it. Okay. Now, granted, I get it. People don't think that that's what some of this stuff is. Okay. But at the same time, if they had a tool out here and they were calling it the sun, calling it the Earth, and the whole time it was the sun, that anytime the sun did anything, like big CMEs and stuff, that should be showing up on these graphs, and it doesn't. Not until 5 days later when it gets here. You know what I mean, guys? And I really, man. But please, like I said, I'm going to say this one more time. Please be respectful if you take this back to this person. I'm not trying to go at anybody. I just want you guys to understand that what I just showed you guys is most likely what it actually is. I'm not going to say 100% because you guys know I don't do that, but this is pretty much almost empirical fact that at least this is trying to tell us the representation of what we're seeing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm just going to let that go from now, okay, guys? I'm not going to address it anymore. I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm not going to do any of that. You know, no matter how ridiculous I think something might be, I'm still not in the game of making somebody feel bad. You know what I mean? And there was no other way for me to do this. I could have did all this and answered 8 different emails and tried to explain this and that, and then it would have been nothing more than an email exchange, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, of me trying to explain something. So that's why I didn't do it. It would have taken up way too much time, and this actually gives you guys, everybody, an understanding more so of what we're actually looking at here. I don't know that I've ever told you guys that these are satellites. I've never had a reason to do that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, at least maybe you guys, maybe you learned something there. You know what I mean? But that was a good question. Where's the moon? It used to be there a while back. I'm not sure why they took it off the model. But they do that sometimes. You know, was it for nefarious reasons? I don't think so. But just my opinion on that one. You're welcome, Johnny. And you know, guys, like I said, I know I sound like a broken record, but I don't like making people feel bad. I don't. And I know that if I was to like try to show this to this person, they probably wouldn't even look at it because of what's happened in the past, and they just refuse to look or even listen to what we had to say about what they were saying. You know? But I'm just going to leave it at that, guys. So, you guys getting any other questions for me? I will say this, though, guys. I do think that we need to pay attention to the sun for at the very least the next week or two. We got a lot of things that are rotating in front of us. Some stuff that's already, ejected. Pretty sizable things. So, you know what I mean? So I do think that that's what we need to do. We're going to have to pay a lot of attention to the sun here. It is ramping up quick. It's not going to turn around and go the other way. So, yeah. Oh, let me say this too, guys. I'm going to put this up here for a second. I want to say thanks to some people here real quick. I kind of updated this a little bit. It doesn't look very professional right now because I didn't have a whole lot of time. I wanted to get it out there. I kind of added names where it would fit. I put this on my at the beginning of the video here, and I just want to say thanks again, guys. Tom, if you're still in here, bud, I put your name up here. Thanks for the donation. I really appreciate that, man. There you are, Tom M. And again, David W. I'm not sure if he wants me to say his name. But let me tell you something about David W. here, guys. He will go through and donate almost every day to multiple channels in the name of a different channel. He's donated to multiple channels in my name. That's how generous this guy is. He's an awesome dude, and most of you guys know who he is, but I'm not going to say it. Not unless he wants to do it. So, yeah, Tom, I really, seriously, man. I mean, none of this stuff is necessary, guys. It's not. But let me say this. I do appreciate it. I got life just like everybody else does. I just don't like to, I don't like to be like other channels that, if they have to get their brakes fixed, they come out and give you some sort of sad sob story that they need their brakes fixed. That's not what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So just know that, number one, it's so appreciated and so unexpected, just to be honest. Number two, that when I do use this money, it's going to be on something that I need, not something that whatever, right? I'm going to try to get a decent webcam. So I want to start, interacting with you guys more. People's like, why isn't your face out there in your videos? I'm not afraid of showing my face. It's not that at all. My face is out there on multiple live streams on other channels. Okay, but I just don't because my webcam isn't the best. That's why. So, yeah, thank you, Arizona. I really appreciate that. Like I said, we all got our issues, and right now one of my issues, I got an older used car I drive back and forth to work, and it's got power windows in it, which I hate because anybody knows that when those things start screwing up, it's a fortune to try to fix them. So it's an older car, so guess what? They don't get fixed. The windows just stay up. And what sucks is this car doesn't have air conditioning. So in the summertime, yeah, it's hot. Now, listen, I make it through. I don't complain about it. You know what I mean? So there's people out there that's got it way worse than me. And, well, for instance, Scott and Dr. Albers right now, they're fighting that, Dr. Albers is sick. Scott's not putting out too many videos because he's had to take his focus off of this a little bit and focus on life to make sure that his wife and his, financially and everything, he's okay. He's running a restaurant, So I do appreciate all you guys. Okay, I really do. And again, I don't want anybody, please don't go over and disrespect this person that did this video. Alright, please don't. If you know who it is, and it was one of the guys that emailed me, if you're going to do something like that, just do it respectfully. You know what I mean? Say, hey, maybe go check out this guy's video on this. Maybe it'll give you a better understanding. Say something like that. So I really tried not to get laugh and stuff either, okay? Because honestly, I don't think it's funny. Because it is making people think things that aren't really what it is. But here's my PayPal. If you guys want to give, you can. If not, good. I mean, I'm not gonna. Yeah, you can tell I'm uncomfortable when I do that, can't you? I hate doing it, but people asked for it, so there it is. It's in my description box too. My wife has an eBay store. She sells Santa hats. If you guys want to check that out. I will be doing probably around Christmas time, a week or two before Christmas. I'll do a little bit of a gift card giveaway or something. Maybe even give away a couple Santa hats that she makes. For people that have donated and what have you. And what I'll do is, if I get multiple donations, your name will go in the hat more than once, that kind of thing. But that's probably what I'll do. I do want to give some of that back. You know what I mean? So, anyway, also the description, here, let's do this real quick. I do want to do this real quick because this is Scott's PayPal, okay, guys? If you guys want to help Scott out and Dr. Albers, there's the link. I couldn't imagine how I would feel if my wife had some sort of mercury poisoning or something, and I just couldn't imagine the burden. I really couldn't. It would suck. So, so if you want to help them out, they're there. So, yeah. 253,000 miles on a van? Heck yeah. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Listen, guys, I get a vehicle, guess what? I drive it until it's time for the dump to get it. I'm telling you. I've always, I'm not going to go out there. I'm not going to be that person that goes out there and makes my wife drive a nasty vehicle either. While I'm over here driving a Corvette or a Jaguar or something. There's people out there that do that, man. I just can't. So my wife always gets the better of the vehicles. Or when we had one vehicle, she got the vehicle. I'm the one that got the rides. Excuse me. Yeah, that's right, Douglas. I mean, it really would. It would just... Sky Scholar. No, I haven't. Phew, wow. That went down the wrong pipe, guys. Woo. Do you? Hey, I got the car I'm talking about, Douglas, is a Mercury Grand Marquis. It's an old police car. It wasn't an actual police car, but it's the same model. Yeah, guys, I'm still, I haven't really brought it out here to anybody, but I'm struggling my health-wise, too. I don't really want to go into it. It's not good. I'll just put it to you that way. My legs, I'm trying to keep them elevated as much as I can. Yeah, I gained like 40 pounds in just under a week of water weight in my legs. And I've been trying to take Lasix and stuff to kind of get it off there. It helped for a few, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. So, but that's all I'm going to talk about it. I don't want anybody getting stuck on me or what I'm going through here. That's not why I'm saying it. I know people have been asking me, and it was directly asked it just there. That's why I answered it. So, yeah, Tab, I have. I just don't want to go into it, okay? It's, yeah. More Jellins, huh? Nah, not me. Not this. So, yeah. Thanks, guys. That's the best thing you guys can do for me. I promise you. Throw them prayers my way. Yeah, Arizona, I do. I've looked into a lot of different secondary kind of medication and stuff, and there are things out there that help. And I'm still going to try. I'm not going to let it go. That's for sure. There's people that, like I said, I'm wired a little bit different because of my bariatric surgery, so that does add a little extra layer there that I have to deal with. But, it is what it is. Yeah, you're right. No soda pop. As I'm drinking the Sam's Cola. No, but I've been consciously trying to drink a lot more water. I drink about 1 or 2 pops a day, and then I drink water. That's it. So, yeah. Yeah, I know, Arizona. I know. Hey, listen. It's better than what I was doing about a month ago when I didn't drink water at all. And I was drinking about 12 Cokes a day. That was actually most of my my calorie intake. I hardly ate anything. But, I didn't always do that, just so you guys know. I've been pretty healthy. It's just now I had to slowly cut it back because, every time I tried to just like cold turkey quit cola, headaches, man. Oh my gosh, I'm talking massive headaches. And nothing, again, guys, I don't take any kind of pain pills except for like Tylenol and ibuprofen. But I even try to steer away from those. I don't like taking anything if I don't have to. Yeah, I got a distiller. How old am I? I am 45. Well, hold on. Yeah, 45. Ain't that stupid? Yeah, I was born in 75. So, yeah, 45. I was trying to think if I was just turned 46 or not. I'm getting ready to. Here in February, I will be. Oh my gosh, yes, guys. Any kind of energy drink. Oh my gosh, stay away from them things. I mean, I'll tell you a little quick story, guys. Listen. When you guys know I had the pill addiction like 8 years ago now. 7 or 8 years. I've never relapsed or anything since I quit doing that. I'm still on Suboxone, but I haven't went back to doing any of that other stupid stuff, which is why, that is what it is. But when I was like out of my medication during the height of when I was feeling bad, because I never missed a day of work, even going through all that. I'd go to work with this full-blown withdrawal, and it sucks. So when I get to, on the way to work, I'd stop and get some, a couple Monsters. I got to where I was drinking like 4 or 5 Monsters a day. And that was worse than than the pills I was trying to take on my body. I can't believe I survived that, to be honest with you. There were times where I thought, oh my gosh. I'm like, I would get the shakes real bad because I was so hopped up on, Monsters or Red Bull or anything like that. Any teens? I'm not sure if there's any teens. I went and looked at my analytics, and I don't have very many teens, Taylor. I think I got a few, not many. Yeah, guys, stay away from those. Yeah, listen, guys. Dick says, this is what I don't like about the whole stigma that withdrawal medication has. Okay, he says he takes methadone, but way like he's supposed to. Now, if this was any other medication, he could have just said, "Yeah, I take methadone." Why did he feel the need to put the last end of that on there? Let me tell you why. Because people slam people that do that. They shouldn't. Okay? So please, if you know anybody in your life that is fighting addiction and they're doing anything that they can to help them, help themselves, anything that they're doing and doing it the right way is better than what they were doing before. Okay? Now it's controlled. Now they're doing it just so they don't be sick. That's it. So just, yeah. Gary, you're right there with me, man. Heck yeah. Like I said, I take Suboxone too. Yeah, I mean, if guys, if I had a choice, like I said, I actually got in kind of on the ground floor of the Suboxone thing, and I was lucky, to be honest. God was looking out for me there for sure, because the hospital I went to, the rehab facility, the guy that ran that facility, my doctor there, was actually on the board that developed Suboxone. So, number one, you always wonder, and yes, let me tell you something. They pushed that over there. And they did it for a reason, obviously. There was a couple reasons there, and probably the main one, I'll just be honest, is probably monetary for them. But, with that being said, it's still a positive thing for the majority of people. I can tell you this right now. I have never, ever gotten high off of Suboxone. Okay? The whole time I've been on it. I even took a couple extra one time. I didn't get high. I might have caught just a little bit of a little energy push, but that was it. It didn't last very long. So that's another misconception. If you were taking opiates, high doses of opiates before you went and got help, getting on the Suboxone is not going to make you high at all. What happens is you get low. So when you take your Suboxone, it brings you back up to normal. That's it. It simply is doing nothing but keeping you from getting sick. That's it. Dope sick is what most people call it. Withdrawal. Yeah, kratom is decent for that too, but be careful with that one, okay? And the reason why kratom, you have to be careful with kratom because it's not regulated. It's not even legal in quite a few states. It's not even legal here where I live. Yeah, that's a good thing, Ashley. Don't. Just don't. You on a blocker now? Are you, Mark? Yeah, for sure. Guys like Suboxone, just to give you a little back of what that actually is. Suboxone itself is actually an opiate. It's buprenorphine, okay? And buprenorphine is actually stronger than any other opiate out there. It's stronger than morphine, Dilaudid, any of it. But listen, it's not strong in the way that you think. It's not strong in the way that it makes you feel high. It's strong in the fact that once it gets onto the receptor in your brain, nothing else, no other opiate can knock it off. So when you take that, what it does, and it doesn't, most opiates, if you could think of if you held your fist out and you say you took an oxycontin, something like that, when it hits your receptor, it will grab your fist. It's that receptor, and then it will cover it like a blanket. When buprenorphine hits your receptor, it hits it like popcorn. It doesn't cover it up. It just kind of hits it all over, like peppers it. That's why you don't get that humongous euphoria from that. So once it gets there, if you were to take like an oxycontin, it wouldn't allow that oxycontin to get on that receptor. Your body would just get rid of it. So that's what happens there. Now there's two different kinds of buprenorphine. You got what they call Subutex, and you got what they call Suboxone. Subutex is nothing more than just buprenorphine. Suboxone, which is what I'm on because my insurance requires it, it's buprenorphine and naloxone. You guys know what naloxone is? That's Narcan. That's what's saving all these overdoses, all these overdose victims. So they put that right in to the pill that I take. What that does is, and it's almost, I got mixed feelings on that anyway, because your body metabolizes naloxone in 4 hours. Okay, so when I take my medicine once a day, in 4 hours it's gone. So if that actually was like, deterring me from doing something, it's really not. And so people understand, Suboxone has what they call a 3-day half-life. It loses half of its potency in 3 days. That's how long it stays in your system. If I was to quit taking my Suboxone right now, I would not feel withdrawal for another 4 days. Steve, that is exactly what I suggest people do when they're ready to get off of Suboxone and all that stuff. I'm not quite ready yet, guys. Not to mention, it's not legal here where I live yet. I've tried, Frank, methadone has a long half-life too. But I will say this, there's been a lot of study, there's enough data there now that you could compare Suboxone to methadone. And the success rate for people that are on Suboxone is extremely higher than what it is for methadone. Because with methadone, it doesn't attach to the receptor like I just said. Methadone actually attaches to a receptor just like any other opiate. And that's why that there itself can actually get you high. Most people that take methadone will sit here and they'll probably tell you right now, if they took an extra, if they up their dose, they're going to get a little bit high. And if you don't, that just means your tolerance is real bad. You got a big, yeah, that's true, Frank. That's another thing, guys. Hey, Russell, how you doing, bud? Ain't seen you in a minute. Good to see you, man. I see your channel's still chugging right along, bro. Keep it going, bud. Yeah, George, you're right. And again, guys, the second that they, and I know that this sounds bad to a lot of people, but a lot of people are starting to accept this, that it's not so bad. That the second they legalize this stuff in my state will probably be the second that that I come off Suboxone. Just saying. Because I did a little test with that. My sister had gotten some edibles, and I put myself in the withdrawal on purpose. And I ate an edible. And it took my withdrawal away. Well, let me say this. It didn't take my withdrawal away. It made me not really care that I was going through withdrawal. I wasn't like way out in left field or nothing, and I wasn't extremely high or nothing. It just kind of relaxed me. That's as simple as I could say it. You know what I mean? And you're right, Tab. I really truly believe that. It got such a bad stigma in the 80s when it was the just say no thing. And unfortunately, it included the marijuana thing, right? So, yeah. So there's a lot of things that help. Yeah, yeah. The kratom thing, guys. Listen, if you guys do the kratom, I'm not saying that ain't a good thing to do. I actually got some kratom from a friend of mine. Um, I met him here on YouTube, and they sent me some because they were trying to help me with my back pain, and they knew that I had the Suboxone and stuff, and they know that that's actually what it does is kratom actually hits on the same receptor that the opiates do, but it's not an opiate. So the theory is that it's not addictive. Let me tell you something about that. Everything is addictive. Whether it's mentally addictive or whether it's physically addictive. And I can tell you just from knowing a few people that have actually been on kratom for a while, they can't come off of it right now. They would have to go through some withdrawal. Just a little bit. And it wouldn't be as bad as what the other stuff is. But what I'm saying is that don't think it's just a cakewalk, because it's not. Yeah, exactly, Tom. Everything is. Yeah, like I said, that is definitely Watchman's Warrior. Like I said, you might not get physically addictive, but mentally. And let me tell you something. Once you've been an addict for so long, like I was and still am, if you want to go get technical, it would be, what's hard for me is that it's all mental for me now, most of it. I could titrate down and physically probably not really have a whole bunch of issues, but mentally is where it's at. You can make yourself sick just by thinking that you're supposed to be. And that's one of the biggest things that most addicts have to try to overcome. And unfortunately, that goes with anything in their life. Typically, when a person quits, if they're able to succeed against the drug thing, it usually shifts over to something else. Which is why they kind of they want you to try to grab a hold of something that's good instead of bad. Now, obviously taking anything in way too much excess, including like working out, or just burying yourself in your job, that kind of stuff, that's not good either. But you got to weigh, is it better than the other? Don't know. It's all up to you and what your treatment is. So I don't judge anybody. Anything that works for them, I'm for. Just so you know. And if the world would take that kind of an attitude, there would be so many less addicts running around. I'm telling you. Guys, just go to the countries that legalized all that stuff. You can legitimately go look at their demographics and look at the numbers. And the people that are actually taking the drugs and addicted are like 30 to 40% lower than what they were before they legalized them. How's the sun doing? Sun's doing okay today, Russell. I went through all that just a second ago, bud. Sorry you missed it. The sun is definitely not really doing a whole lot today. I can show it to you real quick, bud. Let's get you in here. Let's do this. There's the sun today, Russell. You just wake up? Yeah, no kidding. I wish I haven't been to bed yet. But anyway, you can see we got a bunch of sunspots. Stuff going on. It's just, we've been having ejection after ejection, Oh yeah, you're welcome, bud. I know I kind of went off on something that wasn't space weather. I apologize, guys. None of that had anything to do with this, but But I am going to go ahead and get off here, guys. Sleep is for the weak. My man Daniel says it. You'll sleep when you're dead. Heck yeah. No sleep till Brooklyn, right? Ain't that what the Beastie Boys said? Oh, man. Talk about an old band. Heck yeah. Old rap band. You gotta fight for your right to party. Heck yeah. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all you guys. And listen, guys, again, let me say this one more time. Anybody that seen or goes back and watches the replay of this, and anybody that emailed me about somebody saying this was the son, when you guys, if you guys do decide to go over and help that person understand that that's probably not the case, and I showed you what all this stuff was, please be respectful over there. I don't want people to get, I really don't. That's why I'm so hesitant to even come out and do something like this. And I wouldn't have done it if I hadn't gotten so many emails. So, but I am going to go ahead and get off here, guys. God bless. Yahusha saves, and